You've seen various stages of Macau's development.
Yeah.
Being here for the opening of MGM Macau, and how do you think that things have changed after COVID now?
Obviously, there's a lot more shift to the mass. Obviously, what happened with the junkets and all that. So, as I said, the demographic, I believe, has changed a lot after COVID. A lot more younger people coming into Macau, and obviously, entertainment, food, all those things have helped. And then, if you get back to the technology, it creates the younger demographic is a lot more savvy, so loyalty, more rated play, where without that technology you didn't have the rated play that we have today. Mm-hmm. So they're after promotions, campaigns where they can actually leverage off playing and earning points. I think that's but you look at other markets where I've been lucky to work in as well, Singapore and the Philippines. Philippines, for example, I think, it's got a lot of growth. And that's why I think technology, what we've got here is whether it's us using Walker Digital or someone using Angel, I think that'll be a huge benefit in the Philippines because, I'm not saying there's leakage, but there's certainly, there's a lot that you don't know. And this technology, as I said, protects, the government, the player and the company assets.
From what I understand, for example, with Angel's technology, they've got one of the modules that's a part of it is also the facial recognition aspect, so that they can identify exactly which player is winning which chips. And it seems like that is kind of what's missing within some of the other part of the RFID and everything, because you can't always prevent everything. You can have you can see whether the chips are real or not, but you can't necessarily attribute them to each player, right?
Well, if a player gives you a card on
non-loyalty players.
Non-loyalty, and that probably, you're right, that Angel does capture that. But when I look at rated play compared to unrated, it's not a lot. Okay. Before it was introduced, it's very high percentage. It used to be below 50%. Now it's north of 75%. But having the ability to still know that customer that's not rated, yes, that's great. But utilising that, there is some probably great aspects of that. So I guess different technology, there are some different idiosyncrasies, but what we've achieved out of the current technology we use through Walk has been beneficial, and you see some of what's happened with how MGM's evolved for the last coming out of COVID. But will Walker not introduce that in the future? There's who knows?
Well, we're going to have a bunch of privacy issues, which will have to run through the Data Protection Council and everything here in Macau. In regards to kind of the idea of anonymity, I know that I've heard that some of the players are choosing to not go for the VIP route and instead stick to premium mass because they feel like they can preserve a bit more of their anonymity. Have you experienced that? Not really. As I said, there was a lot of players that probably played in the junket before, and now they're playing on the mass. I think you still get a lot of crossover players that play, premium deck on rolling programs, and players that like to come there. Depends on their luck, I think. Some players, follow where they feel lucky. Mm-hmm. A lot of Chinese players are like that. Comes down to their feng shui. Obviously, the shift to events and trying to get more people in the door in general to Macau, and the investments in online gaming are very important. But is that translating? Is the footfall then translating also into more mass spend on the gaming floor? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, certainly. You can see that for sure. I think after COVID, there's a lot more people,
it didn't take long before we started seeing some high volume and high traffic coming across. Yeah, for sure. And as I said, being locked, well, not being able to travel for 3 years, then suddenly you can travel. I think all the properties were inundated, and 2023 certainly saw that, and 2024 continues.
Do you think that we can maintain that momentum?
I don't see why not, but there's a lot of things that may happen, outside of that we don't have control over. Let's say, let's hopefully not. There's no more pandemic, or nothing happens, in the region. But yeah, I don't see, any slowing up. Will we maintain the same pace? That I'm not sure. Yeah, but there's still a lot of demand.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned they were mentioning just now kind of the fact that Macau is such a unique market because it is so Baccarat focused. What is the breakdown for the gaming floor at MGM, both Cotai and Macau?
Well, we've got 750 tables, and nearly 700 of them are Baccarat, and Baccarat's, the main game, but we're seeing a bit of a demand in some of the other games, like we introduced poker, and that's going very, very well. So yeah, there's certainly some, blackjack goes quite well, and there is a demand for some of these other games, but it's certainly a balancing act.
Yeah. How many of those tables are smart tables?
All the Baccarat tables.
All the Baccarat tables. Okay, so all 700 of the Baccarat tables.
Well, it's not quite, but there was close to 700. Yeah.
Okay, great. What are you expecting for the growth which has happened so far this quarter? So first half of the year, and are we going to beat out the first quarter? Because we know that there's going to be a slowdown in June. Just what are your predictions?
I'm not sure. I tend to think, I think the volumes will be still there, but we're a listed company, so I can't. You've got to wait for the results to come out, I guess. But yeah, there seems to be no slow up at this stage.
Good.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's good for us.
That's good for everyone, I think. It's good for the industry. I just, making sure that we have enough hotel rooms for everyone. That's probably the biggest problem.
In regards to the actual gaming floor itself, have you found that because there is a bit more of a changing demographic, that you have to reorganize the floor more frequently, or is that done?
No, 100%.
On a regular basis?
No, 100%. Your floor is a dynamic floor, and you have to keep up. And technology helps you actually, change that floor as well. There's pockets of the floor that become a lot more hotter than others, and yeah, floors are constantly changing. If you're not changing your floors, you're doing something wrong. You must, always be looking at, how you can actually optimise and yield higher on your floors. Very, very important.
Mm-hmm. Well, and these smart tables are going to help enormously with that. You just have huge amounts of data.
Takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. Yeah.
But as you mentioned, you have to integrate that data not only from the gaming floor, but with all of the other various associated departments.
Correct.
How long does it take to implement that kind of process?
How long's a piece of string? But I go back to when I was on the panel that you must have all departments in sync. It's very, very important, and make sometimes not make the correct decision, but you learn by your mistakes. But as you said, there's so much data, and it's very important that you utilise that data. You can have the best system, all these other operators are going to introduce the technology. Unless, you have all your departments in sync and working together, you may not get the best outcomes, and that's really important. Just because you have technology that everyone else has, how you utilise it is probably the key.
But does any of those aspects shine most importantly in regards to having these smart tables? Is it more about the efficiency? Is it more about checking to see whether your staff are being functional? If the dealers, you mentioned that, dealers are not robots. Is it more about the security aspect? Is any of those more important?
No, I think there's correlation with all of them. You know, the efficiencies, as you says, the integrity, the security, you know, the marketing, you know, the campaigns, you know, the table itself, you know, changing different side bets that work, you know, and not the whole lot. It works. You know, it has to be in sync. You know, it's not. I don't believe there's just one aspect. You know, to get the best out of it. It's very important.
Definitely. Do you still see the Macau market as being exciting?
100%. This is like being in the Premier League. You know, Macau market is the #1 market in the world, without doubt. You know, the action on these floors is phenomenal, and yeah, it's an exciting place. You know, I've had a great time here. You know, it's game on when you're working in the Macau market. That's for sure.
But then also you had time in the Philippines, which continues to.
Yeah, and Singapore, that you know was phenomenal. You know, Singapore market is very, very big. I know there's only 2 casinos, but yeah, Manila, there's massive opportunities there as well. I can see that just growing and growing as well. So will it get to the Macau market? I'm not sure.
I'm sure that the PACBO's chairman is very confident it can. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Logistically, they've got some challenges as well. You know, whereas you know Macau, you know, you can land at the airport here and you can be on a property with 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. You got you can get from Hong Kong to here. You know, from probably now 40 minutes. So yeah, they have logistic. Challenges there where it's not the same, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
And they don't have China on the doorstep.
I mean, Macau can never ever really diversify away from that. But then there was speculation that within the second half of the year they're going to start opening up for more Chinese outbound. That might potentially help the Philippines, might potentially lift up Singapore a little bit. Would you see that then having any type of impact on Macau, though?
Yeah, I think we just have to wait and see. And it all depends on, you get back to logistics, is there enough flights coming into Macau? You know, I guess you don't always need to fly from China. You can come down by train, you know, so, you know, yeah, let's see how that, you know, I guess you look at the GGR as the year progresses and see if some of these provinces, is there an influx? You know, I just wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what about the IVS, though? They expanded to 8 more cities, but we don't have the direct flight connections. So do you think that that's going to help pick up, or?
Not sure. You know, I'm not, yeah. As I said, that's purely, speculation. It certainly should help. You know, I don't think, it's definitely not going to, but to what amount, as volume, well, I guess it's a wait and see.
Okay. In terms of the premium mass customers, do you find that they are mostly return customers, or has there been, fresh blood coming in?
Both. Yeah, both. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's obviously new, and there's returning. Yeah.
But then within the mass, because oftentimes the premium mass and mass get lumped together in one big figure, and it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what.
Well, players like to play. Players follow trends, so they may be in the premium mass area, they may be down other areas of the floor. They do. Well, whatever luck or feng shui work for them, they'll follow. So, yeah, even though, you still know the tier level. So they may be down certain areas that are not a premium mass areas, but they still hold a certain tier card. So you can still, track that volume. And as I said, you get back to smart technology, and that's some of the cool advantages you've got. Where your certain carded players are across that whole game floor, whether they're in the premium mass or they're in other areas that are not premium mass.
Mm-hmm. The loyalty applications gone up significantly recently, or is it kind of steady on a month-to-month basis, or do you see surges in certain times?
Oh, you mean different tier levels? Yeah. And that? Obviously you got your top tier level and different tier levels. And I'm not saying they're capped. It all depends on their play and their theo. And when you've got this technology, that's the beauty of it, because you can actually. It takes the guesswork out. It really helps the marketing people. They make better decisions, based on, using the technology, and
I guess that's probably the coolest thing about it for sure.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, you guys, with the first mover advantage, you're absolutely killing it, as we see from much market share. You guys have managed to steal from everybody else.
Well, but as I said, it always wasn't that easy, but, it's been a journey. I think certainly they're seeing the fruits now of it. Yeah.
Good. Well, I expect to see more. Thank you again.
Thank you.